Hello everyone, welcome to Current Affairs for Beginners. Here we'll see what are the various terms, institutions, concepts that appeared in the Hindu newspaper. This session is to help the beginners in understanding the Hindu newspaper. Before starting our today's session, there is a small correction from the yesterday's video. We have said that International Seabed Authority works under the United Nations. This statement is correct. And in the second statement, polymetallic nodule mining in the exclusive economic zone needs the permission from International Seabed Authority. This statement is wrong. Yesterday we said that it is correct. Beyond EEZ, beyond the exclusive economic zone only, this needs the permission from the International Seabed Authority. That means in the high seas. Within the exclusive economic zone, no permission is required. So the answer here is only one. That is A. Now let's see what are the answers for the questions from the yesterday's video. Justice B.N. Sri Krishna Committee is related to. It is data protection policy. And for the mob lynching cases, it is headed by Rajiv Gauba Committee. In our yesterday's video, we have seen what are the recommendations that were suggested by this B.N. Sri Krishna Committee for data protection. And the next question is, New Development Bank is associated with which of the following international organizations? World Trade Organization, BRICS, G20 and Quad. The answer is B. It is BRICS. This New Development Bank is a multilateral development bank that was established by the BRICS nations, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa in the 6th BRICS summit that was held in Fortaleza of Brazil. To fund the infrastructure projects in emerging economies for the sustainable development. That means it will provide financial support to the private and public projects by giving loans. This New Development Bank is headquartered in Shanghai of China and its regional office is in Johannesburg, South Africa. In this New Development Bank, each participant country, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, were assigned with one vote and none of the country is having a veto power. No veto power. These are the topics that we are going to cover in our today's session. We'll see what is the safeguard duty and various other duties that were imposed by the country. And we'll see what are core industries and who will release the index of these core industries. And what is this Rajiv Sadhbavana award and to whom it is conferred in this year. And we'll see what is a joint parliamentary committee and we'll see what is this Citizenship Bill and its provisions. Now let's start our today's session. Our first article is Center imposes 25% safeguard duty on import of solar cells. What is meant by a safeguard duty? This provision of safeguard duty was facilitated in General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. What will this provision do? Using this provision, a country can restrict the import of a particular product from a country on a temporary basis in order to defend its domestic industry. For example, here we can see that India has imposed this 25% safeguard duty on import of solar cells. India is importing solar cells from China and Malaysia. And after the central government does an inquiry and if it finds that these imports were in larger quantities and they are importing at cheaper rates and this is affecting a domestic industry, then the central government can impose this safeguard duty on China and Malaysia. This is done to defend the domestic industry. and it is done on temporary basis. And it is the Directorate General of Trade Remedies who will recommend this imposition of safeguard duty to the central government if there is a potential impact on the domestic industry by importing this particular product. Along with this duty, there are also two other duties. One is anti-dumping duty. This anti-dumping duty is of two types. One is price dumping, the other is cost dumping. What is this price dumping? If a country is exporting its product to any other country at the prices lower than its home country, it is called as price dumping. Let us take an example. For example, China is exporting basmati rice to India. If in China it is selling 1 kg rice at 100 rupees, and if it is selling the same rice of 1 kg at 50 rupees in India, that means it is selling the same product at the price that is lower than in its home country. Then it is called as price dumping. Then now let us see what is this cost dumping. If China is selling the same product to India lower than its manufacturing cost, then it is called as cost dumping. These things will affect the domestic players of the importing country because it will lead to unfair competition. Because in India also we produce this basmati rice, and if in India we are selling the 1 kg rice at 100 rupees, and if China is selling the same rice at the cost of 50 rupees, it will affect the domestic industry. Then to protect the domestic industry from this anti-dumping, the government will impose anti-dumping duty on China. And the next one is countervailing duty. A country will impose this duty when the exporting country is lowering its prices than its home country. Here the reason is by giving subsidies to the manufacturers. The home country, whichever is exporting the product, will subsidize its manufacturers in order to affect the importing domestic market. For example, if China government has given subsidy of 20% on a product. For example, the production cost is 100 rupees per unit. Then if the government is giving 20% as subsidy, then the cost will go down to 80 rupees. This will affect the importing country. And if India is importing this product at 80 rupees, it will affect the domestic market. So then the Indian government will impose this duty, that is the countervailing duty on China, in order to neutralize the effect of subsidies in the exporting country, that is in China, and domestic market of the importing country. And our next article is core industries growth quickens to 6.7% in June. What are these core industries? Core industry means a main industry of the economy or a key industry of an economy. We can say that in a country, a particular industry will become backbone for all the industries. Whereas in India, there are 8 core industries which acts as backbone for all the industries in the economy. Those 8 core industries are coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery products, fertilizers, steel, cement, and electricity. These 8 core industries were backbone for the Indian economy. And the index, that means growth of these 8 industries will be, that means the index of 8 core industries will be released by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Our next article is Rajiv Sadhbavana Award for Gopal Krishna Gandhi. What is this Rajiv Sadhbavana Award? This Rajiv Sadhbavana Award was constituted to mark the contributions of Rajiv Gandhi in promoting peace, communal harmony, and fight against violence. And this year, this award was conferred to Gopal Krishna Gandhi for promoting communal harmony and peace. Here we can see some of the former recipients of this award that include Mother Teresa, Lata Mangeshkar, Sunil Dutt, Ustad Bismillah Khan, Muhammad Yunus, Swami Agnivesh, K.R. Narayanan, and various others who received this award in promoting peace, communal harmony, and goodwill. Our next article is More Time for Citizenship Bill, Joint Parliamentary Committee. What is this Citizenship Bill? The Citizenship Amendment Bill was introduced in Lok Sabha in 2016 to amend the Citizenship Act of 1995, which has prohibited the illegal migrants from acquiring the Indian citizenship. As per this act, an illegal migrant is a person who will enter the country without any valid documents, or even by having the valid travel documents. If he stays in that country beyond a permitted time, then the person is called as illegal migrant. Now, the center wants to amend this act to make the illegal migrants who belong to 6 communities from Hindus, Sikhs, Muslims, Jains, Parsis, and Christians from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan to acquire Indian citizenship. The eligibility to acquire Indian citizenship is the applicant should reside in India during the last 12 months and 11 years from last 14 years. Then the person with valid documents will be eligible to acquire Indian citizenship. And to look into this matter, a joint parliamentary committee was constituted. What is this joint parliamentary committee? Joint parliamentary committee is an ad hoc body. That means it will be set up only for a specific purpose and for specific duration. That means once the task is served, then this body will be dissolved. These joint parliamentary committees will be set up by a motion passed in one house of the parliament, and it will be agreed upon by the other house. The details regarding the membership of the committee and what has to be dealt, that means what the committee should be dealing with, will be decided by the parliament. The motion on the Citizenship Amendment Bill has constituted a joint parliamentary committee of 20 members from Lok Sabha and 10 members from Rajya Sabha. Now let's see our today's prelims questions. Which of the following is not a core industry of India? It is fertilizers, electricity, textiles, or natural gas. And the next question is, consider the following statements. Safeguard duty is imposed on a temporary basis. Safeguard duty is imposed by the government to defend the domestic market from cheap imports. Try to answer these questions and post them in the comment box, and the detailed answers for these questions will be discussed in tomorrow's video. Thank you.